Israel's security cabinet is meeting to discuss plans for a complete military takeover of Gaza in a dramatic escalation in the now 22-month-long war. Benjamin Netanyahu says the Palestinian enclave would eventually be handed to Arab forces to govern, but the UN warns the move could risk catastrophic consequences, while the plan is also receiving strong opposition from the families of hostages and some senior military figures. Middle East correspondent Matthew Doran is live in Jerusalem. Matthew, what do we know about the plan?
Emma, good morning. These details are starting to leak out of this meeting through to the Israeli media, giving a sense of exactly how an expanded military campaign resulting in a total occupation of Gaza might play out. There are suggestions that this would be a phased occupation of Gaza. So areas such as Gaza City, the main population hub in northern Gaza, which has swelled in population because so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been forced to move there from other parts of the Strip. That would be the first area that Israeli forces would move into. Then beyond that, there would be the occupation of some of those camps which have been built around Gaza City, taking control of those areas. If we think about what Israel actually controls at the moment, it's roughly around 75% of Gaza. More of that area is subject to evacuation orders or displacement orders. Effectively, people are being told to get out of those areas because they are active combat zones. But Israel already has a significant part of Gaza under its control, and this is about taking that to the next level there. Over the last couple of days, we have heard repeated messages and reports about the rift between the Prime Minister's office and the Israeli military's top brass. The Chief of Staff of the Israel Defense Forces is apparently not in favour of this plan. He says it will further stretch the IDF's resources and it will also jeopardise the lives of those remaining hostages still held in Gaza. 50 of them are still captive, 20 are believed to still be alive. But based on what we are hearing from this meeting, and it appears this meeting is still underway. It started at around 6 p.m. local time. It's just gone midnight here in Jerusalem. It appears that the military has been rolled here and that the government is wanting to press ahead, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, who really wants to take control of Gaza. He made his views clear in an interview before that meeting began with Fox News, but he wrapped this idea of taking total control of Gaza in a pretty significant caveat, which he didn't quite explain how that would actually play out.
Well, we don't want to keep it. We want to have a security perimeter. We don't want to govern it. We don't want to be there as a governing body. We want to hand it over to Arab forces that will govern it properly without threatening us and giving Gazans a good life.
So, Matthew, how's this being received in Israel, but also in Gaza?
Well, in Israel, certainly just outside of the Prime Minister's offices where these meetings have been occurring, hundreds of people took to the streets, blocking off some of those streets to protest any expansion of this military campaign. Their primary concern is the well-being of those hostages, particularly the 20 hostages still living in captivity, fearing that any expanded military campaign will put their lives at risk. This is a familiar argument which we have heard over many, many months now, that Benjamin Netanyahu is not actually putting the interests of the hostages first. He's not even putting the idea of destroying Hamas first in his list of priorities. Instead, he is focused on his own political survival. That is a sentiment which was echoed by one of the fathers of those living hostages, Yehuda Cohen. His son Nimrod was taken hostage on October 7, 2023. He's a serving soldier. There's vision of him and some of his colleagues being pulled out of an IDF tank near the Gaza border by Hamas fighters. Yehuda Cohen says he has received signs of life from his son over the course of these 22 months of war and 22 months of captivity, and he is deeply, deeply worried that an expansion of this military campaign could threaten the life of his son.
Of course, it's directly endangering the hostages. As I said, the policy of Netanyahu is survival, is the only way right now he can do it by continuing the war, spreading warnings. He's got, well, fortunately, he's got support from Trump.
That's Yehuda Cohen speaking to me earlier today. His reference to Donald Trump there is quite telling, because Donald Trump is basically the only world leader that Benjamin Netanyahu listens to. And on this issue of occupation, it seems like the US president has effectively given Benjamin Netanyahu free rein here. He has spoken out, Donald Trump that is, has spoken out in the last couple of weeks or so about the humanitarian crisis on the ground, the starvation which is taking hold across Gaza, saying that the images of starving people cannot be faked there. And we've heard some startling figures today, Emma, from the World Health Organization, saying that 12,000 children under the age of 5 have been diagnosed with acute malnutrition in the last month alone. That's the month of July. The WHO saying that they are the highest monthly figures recorded ever. This shows just how dire that humanitarian crisis is. And from the people in Gaza who we have spoken to today, and our colleagues on the ground in Gaza have spoken to on our behalf, there is a deep, deep concern that that humanitarian crisis will only get worse, and thousands upon thousands of Palestinians who've been repeatedly displaced during this war could be forced to pick up whatever belongings they still have and move once more.